Hello, second grade. My name is Carolyn Dee Flores. I am the illustrator of the book that you're reading right now, called A Surprise for Teresita, Una sorpresa para Teresita. It is written by Virginia Sanchez-Korrol and illustrated by me, Carolyn Dee Flores. That means that Virginia Sanchez-Korrol wrote the words and I did the pictures. I think Virginia is there with you right now, if I'm not mistaken, and Virginia and I have not actually met, so I wanted to say hello to Virginia and hello to the second grade. I'm very excited to meet you because second grade is my very, very favorite grade. And I'll tell you why in just a minute, but first I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the art in the book. So this is really, really cool. I don't know if you know this, but a picture book takes about 1.5 years to illustrate. So I don't know how many of you have actually worked with paints or have worked with pencils or have worked with crayons, but I painted the pictures in this book with a paint called oil paint. And I'm going to show you exactly, actually I'm going to show you some of the original paintings in just a second. But let's start off first with what it takes to illustrate a picture book. First of all, I got the words, the story had already been written, and so I started off by drawing the black and white pencil drawings. And so this is an example of one of the black and white pencil drawings. I think I have a couple here, and here's another example. And so what I did, and what the publisher asked me to do, was to do the entire book, but do it in black and white. So I have a copy of that, and I'll show that to you in a minute. And then I put together what's called a skeleton, and it's a whole bunch of pictures like this. So it's all of the black and whites. So you'll see that I created a book that looks like the picture book that you have in your hands, only it doesn't have any color. Now, let's get to the really exciting part, and that is the color in the book. So, let me show you how I did it. And I think, Virginia, you might be excited about this as well, because I don't think you've ever actually seen the equipment that we created to paint this book. But the first thing I did was I bought this tabletop easel at the store. And so it's called a tabletop easel because you can actually place it on a table. And so here's how I did that. And so when I knew I was going to actually do these paintings, what I did was I cut out a whole bunch of squares of cardboard that look just like this. When I bought this easel, I took the bottom of a Lazy Susan, and that's a thing that goes on your table where you serve chips and it goes all the way around. Well, I took the bottom off of it, and my husband took a screw and put it right through the middle, and I created this. And the reason I created that is because I wanted to be able to do my paintings like this. So here's an example of one of the real paintings. Okay, you can see I stuck the cardboard on the back with the hole cut in the middle that would fit exactly on this circle. And then I was able to turn this every which way that I needed to as I painted. And that is how I painted this. And see, I just taped a piece of cardboard that looked exactly like this. And I have tons of these. I had them stacked. Put it on here, taped it to that, and then I painted that. And the way I did that was I used the oil and painted on here so that it would look really, really bright and really, really colorful for you. I came up with the idea of painting this book. I kind of wanted it to look like a building. So if you see on the back, it does look like a building. And I spent a lot of time trying to come up with really cool colors for all of the neighborhood. Now, I'm really excited about that because we were talking about maybe having you guys draw your own house, your own neighborhood, and your parents, your friends, your family, and maybe the playground at recess. And so it was very important for us to capture the things that occur in a New York neighborhood, which is where you guys are from, which really excites me. So let me show you something that I haven't shown anyone else yet. Okay, when I painted these pictures, I used a palette, which means I went ahead and mixed the paints on these pieces of cardboard. But I want to show you something that's really kind of cool. In order to get the colors I wanted for the building, as you can see, I mixed them like this. And these are actually the colors that actually went into the book. You see that? Isn't that kind of cool? I think that's kind of cool. And I hadn't shown anyone that before, but I think that this is really neat. So let me explain to you two things that I've never told anybody else. These are kind of really big secrets, and I saved them especially for your class. So the first one is this. Sometimes you may not realize it, but when we're painting these pictures and doing these picture books, sometimes we're influenced by other paintings we've seen in museums or in books. And I was influenced by a very famous painting by a man named Johannes Vermeer. Now, I'm going to show you this picture, which you'll see in your book. And this is the picture where Teresita walks out onto the balcony with her mother and starts to water the plants. I was really excited about this painting that I saw once, and it was called The Milkmaid by Johannes Vermeer. And you'll see that although this picture is very, very different from that one, it kind of has the same sort of feel. She's reaching out, she's pouring something, and they're concentrating on that. And so I think one of the things I'd like for you to see is that when we're working on these picture books, it's very exciting because you can read the story, and then you can look at the pictures, and then you can really look at the pictures and read it over and over again. Every single time we do one of these pages, 2 pages together are called a spread, it's because we want to connect with you. We want to do it especially for you. And so it means a lot to do these little details that maybe you can pick out later on. So now let me talk to you about my second secret. And this is the reason I love second grade. When I was in second grade, I wrote my very first book. And I illustrated my very first book. So let me show it to you right now. And this is the awesome book called A Trip Through Space Air. I wrote it when I was 7 years old. It says written and illustrated by Carolyn Dee Flores, and it's misspelled. And I did some of my very best pictures of my life. Here, as you can see, I was an extremely wonderful artist at 7 years old. But this is a great book. I love this book because it has a cover, a hardcover, a cover in the back. It's got a title page. It's got a great story. And this is perhaps the best picture I've ever illustrated in my life. It says, "My parents were shocked, and you will be too when I tell you the news." Now those parents are very shocked. It's really important that you draw things now while you're little, and that you write things while you're little, and that you create your own books, because these mean a great deal to you when you grow up. I still carry this book around with me everywhere I go, and I think it's the best thing I ever did. I wish I could still draw and write like this, but I can't because I'm not 7 years old anymore. So the big deal here is that we want you to do your own books, to write your own stories, to save them and look at them when you get older, because you are very, very important. I can't emphasize enough how important you are. You are going to do awesome things, and I hope that you see how easy it is to do these awesome things. And believe in yourself, and I hope you see yourself in these books, because these books are all about you. So thank you so much for letting me speak with you, and thank you so much, Virginia, and thank you so much for spending some time with me. And if you have any questions for me that you would like to ask, just give them to your teacher, and she can get a hold of me, and maybe I can send you some answers. And I hope to see you again, and maybe even meet all of you in person one day. So, adios. See you later. Bye-bye.